We are on chapter 12, the last chapter in the late Bradley Steiner's The Tactical Skills of Hand-to-Hand Combat. And this is, these 12 chapters are great for instructors. Sometimes when I'm teaching a class, I'll just grab one of those chapters out of my mind and I'll kind of interlace it through my whole lesson, like chapter 11, last lesson on move fast with continuous follow-up. You know, those principles could just be reinforced to your students over and over, or if you're training yourself, that you're reinforcing those things to yourself. But here we are at chapter 12, and chapter 12 is end the fight quickly. It should be over before the attacker has time to realize that he's being combative. You're not going to get a second chance at the element of surprise with him. And when you attack the attacker rather than defend, and what I mean by that is if he were to throw a punch and you try to block it, that would be defensive, and then perhaps you move in with your attack. But when you immediately go after him, he begins his attack against you and you explode with your attack against him. Or you just purely preemptively attack, like let's say a woman being threatened, she's at her car and the guy says, get in the car or I'll kill you. She's not going to wait for him to make the first move. You're going to preemptively attack. You always have to expect that you're going to be injured during an attack, because realistically you're probably going to be injured. And the shorter amount of time that the battle goes, the less you're going to be injured. It's going to be over with quickly. This really applies to edged weapons. That if you face an edged weapon and it's already in his hand, there's a good probability that you're going to be cut. And the faster you can get it done and protect those vital areas, the less damage is going to be done. I remember Steiner, I think in that chapter he actually talked about the fight being over in 30 seconds or less. And I have to say that I think 30 seconds is far too long for it to really go. There certainly could be circumstances where it went 30 seconds, but I like doing 6-second drills with my students, where sometimes I have them just do a barrage of blows, either against the imaginary attacker or on a dummy or on multiple dummies, and I give them a start command and a stop command, and it's 6 seconds long, and they already hit as many times as they can possibly hit in those 6 seconds, and it's amazing how much you can get done. If you just took something like chin jabs and just started smashing up with them and striking, throw an elbow in there, a kick, and just got as much done in as quick amount of time as you could, it's going to be over one way or another very quickly. This is especially important if you are a smaller, weaker individual. And sometimes from that type of student now, they'll say to me that, yeah, but I'm not that strong. I've got to do it differently. I'm like, no, that's exactly how you have to do it. It's got to end quickly, because you are the smaller person here. You're the woman versus the man. You're, like we talked about in chapter 11, once you attack him, you're not going to give him a chance to recover psychologically. So we take advantage and capitalize on the human mind's need to readjust to new and changing situations. So he's not expecting you to attack. And then when you suddenly attack him, you've begun the element of surprise. But the way you continue and capitalize on it is you continue to attack and continue to go after him. And the feeling he feels starts to turn to terror. He can't believe what's happening. He's trying to protect himself. You have got to end the fight quickly. You can't square off with him. You can't take a stance with him. You can't feel him out like you might in a match, or like a police officer might have to do in a situation where he's really not justified in kicking this guy in the testicles. But as a private citizen, you're not arresting anybody. You're trying to escape the situation. And once somebody gets physical with you, it's pretty darn serious. So end the fight quickly.